Okay, this lesson is your x, y, r in trig. Okay, on your formula sheet you will see these formulas. Sine of your angle is y over r, cosine of your angle is x over r, and your tan of angle is y over x. Those formulas are given to you on a test, on an exam. Okay, so you will have those. Okay, here is example 1. You have the point 3, 4, okay? You are going to find the trig values for these. For an angle that goes through that point. Okay, so I'm going to draw a visual of this. So here's what's happening. Your x value is 3, your y value is 4, so this is your point. Okay, and our angle goes through that point. So when we talk about angles, we're connecting it to the closest x-axis. Okay, so that's the situation. I'm going to draw an imaginary right triangle. Okay, not so much of a right triangle. Now, I know that this is a distance of 3 and this is a distance of 4. How do we get that distance? Okay, so we would do Pythagorean theorem. 3 squared plus 4 squared. 9 plus 16 is 25. Therefore, and this is going to be called my r, or my radius. So my r is going to be 5. Okay, now I'm going to show you 2 ways to get the trig value. So sine of angle is something over something, cos is something over something, and tangent. Okay, so we're going to have ratios. You were taught in grade 10 that your sine of your angle is the ratio of the opposite over hypotenuse. So if you talk about this angle, that would be 4 over 5. Okay, if we go to our formulas and we find the sine of the angle, it's the y value, which I just get from here, divided by my r value, which I calculated, which would be 4 over 5. Okay, so let's look at cosine. Let's do this method first. So my cosine is take my x, so that would be 3 over my r, which would be 5. Okay, let's check with our ka thinking. So cosine is the adjacent over hypotenuse. So that comes to the same answer. So if I'm taking my tan of my angle, I'm going to go opposite over adjacent. Or this method, I'm going to take my y value divided by my x value. Okay, you can pick whatever method you like. These formulas will be provided for you. Okay, example 2. Let's go with a -5, 3. Same question, different point. Okay, so never hurts to draw a visual of what's going on. Before I even calculate do my drawing, let's calculate r. So I'm going to go -5 squared, so 25, plus 3 squared is r squared. So Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So 25 plus 9 is 34. So this is not a nice pretty number, so we're going to leave it as r being the square root of 34. Okay, so let's draw this out. So -5, 3 would be up in quadrant 2. I'm going to draw a triangle. Okay, so my angle is here. It's going through that point. This is a -5, this is a 3, and this is a root 34. So my trig values, sine is, okay, the y value, 3 over the r value. or you can do it opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine is your x value over your r value. So x over r, or you could do adjacent over hypotenuse. And tan is y over x, so that's 3 over -5. If you know your stuff about math, you can also represent that, as -3/5, right? These are equivalent to each other. This is just a better way of representing it as a negative number, but it's okay to do either. Okay, so those are your x, y, r ratios, trig values. Please also note, remember connecting to Astica, this was in the A quadrant, so all of these should be positive, and they are. This is in the S quadrant, so your sine better be a positive, which it is, and your costan should be negative, which they are. So that's another thing that you should connect this to. Okay, let's do a different example. So this is the harder type. I'm going to give you information. I'm going to tell you the sine ratio is -4/5, and you also know that cos is positive. So this time you're going to work to find the cosine trig value and the tangent trig value. Okay, so here we go. Let's do our Astica. Sine is negative. Okay, so it's not in those top two. Cos is positive, so it has to be in this one. Okay, so my angle is connected to my x-axis. All right, sine of angle is -4/5. Going back here, sine of angle is y over r. So I know that my r is 5 and that my y is -4. And just double check with yourself, -4, right? This isn't +4 because that would be up there. So I need to find this value. Okay, so now in the Pythagorean theorem, we're going to find a smaller side. So we have to do c squared minus b squared to get an a squared, right? So 5 squared minus -4 squared. So 25 minus 16, which is 9. So my a is 3. Okay, now you need to ask yourself at this point, is this +3 or -3? Because this won't tell you that, right? You're going to have to give me a positive or negative based on either understanding the diagram or understanding where you are in the quadrants. So I'm in quadrant 4 or I'm on the right, so this ends up being a positive x value. Okay, so let's finish. Cosine of my angle is the ratio of x over r. So I'm going to go 3 over 5. And tan of my angle is the ratio of y over x. So I'm going to take my y value, which is -4 over my x value. Okay, and then let's always double check at the end. We're in our Astica quadrant. We're in our C. So it better have a positive cosine fraction, and it better have a negative sine and tan, which it does. So everything works out and connects to all the concepts.